Hello everybody, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. We are down in the dungeon again today, but we're not really going to be taking a look at the plants. It's a bit of a babble and visit and kind of wander around because I mentioned on Sunday that I wanted to discuss a couple of the things that I'm going to try to do in order to build this YouTube channel of mine to a point where it effectively replaces a full-time income and I don't have to go out climbing on roofs and stuff anymore. For a few reasons. Number one would be I know it's a limited time opportunity. There's only so many people in our municipality, and once they're all hooked up, I'm out of work. So that's probably my main reason. But really, there are a lot of different things that I'm going to be doing to try and build my channel and to try and build my revenue. And I know there are a lot of fellow creators who watch my stuff. So it seemed kind of appropriate to share with you guys kind of what I'm planning on doing, since I plan on bringing you along anyway. You may have noticed my ridiculous bear hat. We picked this thing up at some dollar store back in Penticton ages ago, and not necessarily something that I would be marketing, but I felt after Charles's pepper hat the other day, I needed to do something today. So I got a bear hat, but that kind of leads into what I want to do. I have been thinking very strongly about getting into merch and marketing, those kind of things, and there's not a huge profit margin there, but what it does do is it provides people who are trying to support your channel something tangible that they can get in return for their money and still, you know, be supporting you either by throwing your brand out there or sending that couple of bucks your way. And a lot of people go with like t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. I think I'm most likely to go, well, to start anyway with hats, because I love hats. I have this huge I have a whole dresser just for my hats upstairs. Someday we'll go through the hat collection too, because I'm sure somebody's gonna want to see it. But so that's kind of, I'm thinking hats, maybe some sort of a mug, just merchandise like that, and all of that is going to be available through links in the bottom description, because a lot of those links nobody uses the ones that I've got down there for the blogs and stuff. And I mean, heck, I hardly ever use the blogs myself. So it's unreasonable to expect others to use what I'm not, right? After we get something figured out, get a couple of shirts or whatever, a couple of hats, a couple of mugs, then like I said, I'll start throwing those links down in the bottom. Something else that I'm thinking about as far as like, it's terrible lighting down here today, as far as like merchandise and stuff, I was thinking something more personal. I make a lot of really interesting little things like my hot candies and the brownies and our Rice Krispies, and you know, you guys see a lot of the stuff that I do. So I've been thinking, as kind of a bonus for my Patreon members who have signed up, even at the $1 level, you know, it doesn't matter. I think that's where I'm going to be marketing the stuff that I personally make, like those hot peanuts, for example. A couple of people have mentioned that they'd like to have a go at those. So I think that's probably the place to put the more personal stuff, just because these are people that feel it's worth that extra little bit. So I think that they should be rewarded for having faith in me personally. And it's no disrespect to anybody who hasn't signed on to Patreon or can't sign on to Patreon or whatever. Believe me, if there's anything I understand, it's being broke. That's part of why we Canadians are so nice, because most of us are broke. And courtesy goes a long way when you got no scratch. So, yeah, that's just a personal theory, though. So don't quote me on that, and don't go asking Pretty Boy Trudeau if that's the truth. But, you know, so there's the personal handcrafted stuff, we'll say, that, like I said, will be available on the Patreon page. There's the merchandise type stuff that, like I said, will be available down in the description. Now, that covers two sources of revenue, assuming anybody has any interest in that. However, that does not necessarily ensure that my YouTube channel is going to grow, or is going to grow to a point where I get a greater revenue from the AdSense. Don't get me wrong, I understand a lot of you do not want to watch the ads. But the simple truth of the matter is, when you do sit through one of those ads, you kind of get to pull a Robin Hood. Because most of the time, it's a big company that's paying for that ad. And yes, YouTube takes half of it, but when you sit through like 30 seconds of it, the creator, in this case me, gets, you know, a percentage of it. So ultimately, you're stealing from the corporations and giving to your favorite content creators, if you can call what I do on my channel content, and you know, it doesn't do anything except cost you 30 seconds or so out of your time. Ultimately, that's where I want to make money from YouTube, because I appreciate the donations and contributions that come in from viewers, I really do. And I would definitely appreciate anybody who does the merch. But I want to siphon money back from the big corporations and put it into the hands of us little people who actually need it. And I think, as stupid as it is, providing advertising space on the internet is a great way to do that. And really, ultimately, at the end of the day, there are two ways to make money online. You can sell something that includes a service, your body, all kinds of things. I'm not suggesting anybody sell a service with their body online. I'm just saying, okay? We all know those sites are out there. Or you can provide advertising space. Otherwise, I don't think there is a single way to earn online, except maybe donations. But you're selling yourself to get the donation, so that still counts as selling something. Ultimately, you're selling an idea, you're selling a concept. Look at Kickstarter. It's all based on, well, we're going to make this thing, and if you contribute, then you'll be able to get it sooner. Now, don't get me wrong, there are an amazing number of awesome things on Kickstarter right now that need people to support them, and ultimately will help create a better society, because business money is not going to support things that improve our world. Bankers are not going to support things that improve our world. Kickstart and GoFundMe and all of those little sites, those are the places where individuals have an opportunity to make a positive change with their spending power. So please don't think I don't think highly of these sites. I really, really do. But like I said, you're selling something, or you're providing space for someone to sell something. So my goal as a YouTuber is to provide enough space for these big companies to have their ads out there that I can make a comfortable living off of that, and therefore do more of my garden projects, produce better videos. I'd like to get better equipment. I know my camera sucks. I know you guys would like to see it in HD. My camera can barely process the HD. My computer can barely process the HD. So it's not really an option for me. But the internet can finally upload the HD. So we've got one of those steps taken care of. But it's a lot that goes into it, because I mean, we're trying the homesteading thing too. So my job is not what you would consider a normal job, and you know, I don't necessarily get paid a proper wage. I get piecework is basically what it is. So that's a whole different thing. And like I said, I do not see that really lasting for too long. A year tops. And that's not going to do it. So it seems to me, if I want something to pay out with a full-time sort of income, I'm going to need to put in the full-time hours. And I think that is one thing that a lot of people who hope to get rich quick on YouTube they're really missing out on. Because without a super-duper viral video like Shox's Frozen Orbs all those years ago, that thing went crazy, millions and millions of views, and it was absolutely awesome. Her channel exploded as far as sub numbers. My channel has been a very slow, steady climb based off the success of a few videos, mostly aquaponic videos. And then people sub, and they seem to enjoy the ride, so they stick around. And, you know, for years, 2 years at least, there wasn't even an aquaponic garden available on my channel, but people subbed for that. So I think one thing that I definitely need to do in order to maintain the integrity of my channel is that I need to really do more with the aquaponics like I used to. Because, I mean, back in the day, it was like every day, every second day, I'd be doing something different, plumbing different, or different fish or something. And there was always an aquaponic video, and in the beginning that really helped. Now, there's really only so much, frog in my throat and I forgot my coffee. All right, there's really only so much I can do down here because it is limited space. So that's fine. Eventually I'll get a greenhouse out there in the yard, and eventually I'll get that sucker running 24/7, 12 a year, and I will be able to grow at least my kale again in the middle of winter. Now, I recognize in Manitoba that is a ridiculously challenging goal, but that's part of why we came out here. I proved that aquaponics can work in a really cushy environment where almost anybody can grow if they've got time to water their plants. Now can I make it work somewhere where you've only got a 3-month gardening window, 4 in an exceptional year, and still have it be viable, profitable, you know? So that's going to be my next aquaponic journey here on the channel, and that will undoubtedly help it grow, but not as quickly as I necessarily want. I am hoping to get to 25,000 subs before December. I'm going to need your help with that, guys. If you're still watching, please, by all means, go out, share one of your favorite videos on your favorite social media. Get my name out in front of more people. If you enjoy me, maybe your friends will too. And that kind of helpful clicking on your part that doesn't cost anything but a couple of seconds is how you can grow your favorite channels. You know, like look at Rev at the end of his videos. He always talks about go check out the comments, go visit all those people and click like on a bunch of their videos and stuff. And it's kind of fun to listen to his ramble, but that ultimately is how we help each other grow. You know, if I mention you and you mention Dave and Dave mentions Bob and Bob mentions Fred and Fred mentions Rob, Todd, Jeff, you know, like it all ends up in this big circle and we're all helping each other out. Everybody wins because at the end of the day, it's about getting those advertising dollars. So, anyway, 40 hours a week. If I want a 40-hour-a-week income, I've got to put in 40 hours a week on the channel. Now, that said, anyone who has a home-based business or who has ever had a home-based business knows that you don't get away with just 40 hours a week. And to be putting videos up 6 days a week, I'm already pushing damn near that. So the only way I can really improve on that, I figure, is to do research. Not only to research some of my own videos so that I have discovery videos that have genuine, useful, helpful information, answer somebody's questions, things like that, but I need to do research on the YouTube platform itself. It has changed so much since I started and since Shock started that I hardly even recognize the place anymore. This whole, everything that's gone on with the censorship, it's really messing with the way that I have learned to make my videos. And while I've always tried to maintain sort of a family-friendly channel here, anyway, you know, can't say that about a couple of the other channels, but here I have always tried to maintain a family-friendly channel. I've still got ridiculous numbers of videos that are, you know, unsuitable for most advertisers, limited or no advertising on there. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I intend to look into that and try and eliminate it because, as I said, my goal is not necessarily to get money from you guys, the viewers. I want to give you entertainment. I want to give you those little tiny popcorn kernels of knowledge that I occasionally stumble across in my experiments. I want to give you all of that. If you want to kick back and throw me some support on Patreon, great. But ultimately, the money I want is from those corporations. And I think getting closer to 25,000 subs will probably really help if I can improve the actual watch numbers. See, because it's not all about the subs. On the surface, it looks like it is, but it's really not. When you get right down to it, what YouTube really wants is, if you're not a creator, you might want to cover your ears for this next bit. If you are a creator, pay attention. What YouTube really wants is for creators to get as much time from the viewers as possible consuming content on YouTube, preferably your individual channel, but in YouTube in general. So when you put up links that go to another website, you're not doing yourself any favors. However, sometimes you've got to do that. Like, for example, when I get to merch, and that'll be down in the description and blah, blah, blah. Those will be links that go off the site. But what YouTube wants is those watch hours. That's part of why it's not just you need 1,000 subs to be able to monetize anymore. You also need 4,000 hours in the last 365 days. Now, with a channel the size of mine, I am, thanks to this 30 and 30 that's become 90, I think this is 95, my channel is growing quite well. I've got my watch time, I think within a month. I've got what I need for the year, so that's not a problem. But it's growing on that. If the channel gets greater views, more people spending time watching, then YouTube's going to make it more available to more people so that they can spend more time watching. It's kind of screwy, and I have some dark suspicions about a lot of things, and I kind of saw this coming. So I'm not surprised. But like I said, that is the key. So I don't know how to tell people who aren't creators that they can uncover their ears now, but that's okay. You probably didn't cover up in the first place, did you? So basically, what I'm going to be doing in order to build my channel, to build my revenue, and to get to a point where, you know, I'm not stuck climbing on people's roofs or towers or stupid stuff like that, is, like I've gone over in the video, is I'm going to invest the time in researching what YouTube wants, because I know this much of what they want, but that's a drop in the ocean. And I'm going to invest a little time in researching answers to questions. I may do a lot more videos in the future that are actually answering comments down in the comment section, because I get a lot of interesting questions, and sometimes they're repeaters. So I think when, you know, something's been repeated 2 or 3 times, maybe it's a clue that I should be making a video on that topic. So I'm going to try and do that a lot more in the future to answer more people's questions, get a lot more discovery, try and grow the channel that way. But ultimately, the easiest way for anyone to grow their channel is to be in front of their camera on a frighteningly regular basis. Look at me, I'm here 6 days a week. Crazy. I can't believe you haven't, you know, gotten tired of me yet. But I'm here 6 days a week. I'm putting in the time. I'm trying to get it to a point where I'm putting in 40 hours a week. Now, like I said too, that's 40 hours in towards online earning, which means I'm going to be putting a little bit of time into those blogs, because again, the blogs are providing advertising space that you can sell, and that is their main financial value to anyone who writes a blog, is selling those little spots or selling a product in the link. So since I don't have a lot of products I'm going to sell, it's the advertising space. So I'm going to put some time into blogs as well. The Grumbling Bear blog is kind of just me griping about stuff, so it shouldn't really be that hard to add content to that. Taquaponics, I think I'm just going to rename to the JT Bear's Garden blog. So, you know, that'll probably help too. Otherwise, it's hit or miss. In many ways, being successful on YouTube is a popularity contest. So there's only so much you can do about that. In many ways, being successful on YouTube is about investing the time and investing the money. So that is something we can do something about, and something I'm going to. Anyway, I think I've babbled on probably more than long enough on this particular topic. If you have any questions about anything I've mentioned in this, or if you have any suggestions on other ways to really help drive an online income, if not necessarily mine, could be your own, could be, you know, just an idea, please share that down in the comments below. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Shocks decided we should start with merchandising on these bands here. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got JT Bear written on one side, Shocks the Muse written on the other side. They're delightfully bright colors. So I'm probably going to send a couple of these out with random mailing. One never knows. I have this delightful list of addresses. I'm not going to sell it, but I am going to play with it. And on that note, I'll see you guys tomorrow.